arena. According to the speaker, the Presidential Security Group is currently studying the proposal to close off a couple of lanes in major roads for exclusive SEA Games transit. FISGOC is also considering the possibility of declaring holidays in certain Metro Manila cities to help ease the traffic.
The Philippine kickboxing team is revving up its preparations for the 2019 SEA Games, living up to the saying, champions are made, not born. Every member of the 18-man delegation is now going all out in training for a shot at making the final lineup. Philippine kickboxing team head coach Marquez Sangyao is happy with his camp but admittedly says that he will have a tough time in making the final cuts. Now, I was lucky enough to spend time with this highly determined group and witness firsthand the incredible level of commitment while gearing up for the games.
First time namin na ganapin yung kickboxing sa Pilipinas. So ang pressure naman namin sa training, nakita ko naman yung mga bata, talagang porsigido sila. Sa ngayon, sa Baguio kami nagtitraining, yung training camp namin. Hopefully, maganda yung training namin. Mensahe ko lang sa mga fighter at atleta namin, mag-focus lang sa training, huwag masyadong mag-isip kasi nandyan yung pressure. Hindi nawawala yan. Saka training, more hard training, kaya natin kunin yung gold na yan. Kasi tiwala naman ako sa mga atleta natin. Yung porsigido sa training, kahit mahirap, ginagawa namin lahat, ang mga coaches. Kaya sabi nga sa amin na, coach, kahit mahirap, gagawin natin ang lahat para makuha natin yung inaasam nating gintong medalya.
Well, those are your updates for the 2019 SEA Games. When we return, Erika had a chance to speak to the PSE chairman, Butch Ramirez. That when we come back from the break.
Hi, ako si Patricia Ann Bustamante, tubong Nebay Ecija, miyembro ng Philippine Canoe Kayak Dragon Boat Federation. Nag-start kasi ako sa Dragon Boat dahil sa mother ko, kasi isa din siyang paddler eh. Siya yung nag-encourage sa akin na mag-try ng Dragon Boat sa club team since 2010. Then, after 3 years, nag-try naman ako mag-try out sa national team. Then, luckily na pumasa naman as drummer ng national team, Dragon Boat. Naway, supportahan nyo ang Philippine Canoe Kayak Dragon Boat Federation sa darating na 38th SEA Games na gaganapin sa Subic. We win as one!
We stand today, opponents. We strive to bring home pride, and yet our power, when combined, is a force to change the world. Our nations share a common dream. Our roots are old and new. Our stories, joyful echoings of bonds, forged strong and true.
Welcome back to INFocus. With less than 2 months before the 30th SEA Games commencing here in the Philippines, we are very lucky to have with us the PSE chairman and the chef de mission of our very own delegation, Mr. Butch Ramirez. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us. Thank you for taking time. So, just a couple of questions surrounding, of course, the very exciting 30th SEA Games happening here. I would just like to clarify, is it true that we were supposed to back out from this hosting because of the 2017 Malawi crisis?
Yes, when we assumed office on 2016 with the Duterte administration, we did not know that we will be hosting the Southeast Asian Game because it was an initiative by the Philippine Olympic Committee. In the middle of the last part of 2016, we discussed with the Philippine Olympic Committee President that we can host. And normally, to host a gigantic 10 country Southeast Asian game, you need the support of the President and the whole country. So we went to Malacanang, discussed this matter to Executive Secretary Salvador Medialdia and SAP Bongo, and it was positive. But along the way, there was some little disagreement, and plus the Marawi siege. So we instead canceled the Southeast Asian game.
So what changed everything, sir? What made the decision that we will be pushing through with it?
After a month, an official of Malacanang called me up if we can continue the hosting with the Secretary of Foreign Affairs, Speaker Alan Cayetano now could be the chairman. And I said, why not? So we started talking to a cluster of cabinet secretaries, and there it was continued that we can continue proceeding with the Southeast Asian game. And we discussed again with the Philippine Olympic Committee President, former Congressman Piping Kuangco. That was the start of reviving the Southeast Asian game hosting.
And we are finally here. It's happening soon. And I'm pretty sure, sir, that you have been very busy with all the preparations. It is such a task for a chef de mission to do the overseeing of everything. And you yourself also had some questions if you were to take this responsibility. And you are here. Take us through the thinking process that you had to take this responsibility.
Well, first, as an organic head of agency, as undersecretary of the Philippine Sports Commission, I'm not supposed to be a chef de mission of a private group under Philippine Olympic Committee. That's why when it was offered to me first by the president of the Olympic Committee, Ricky Vargas, I said no. But I changed my mind because at that time there were some dynamics, challenges of the Olympic Committee leadership. And because of that, I consulted my immediate boss, Secretary Salvador Medialdia, and I said, why not take it? So I made some discerning soul searching that for the country, for the children, para sa bayan, why not? So I accepted the job.
We know very well that you have a good team behind you, the people behind the scenes working on all these preparations, sir. But there are a lot of components working together to make this happen. You have the logistics of things, entertainment, marketing and promotions, and all of the infrastructures. Can you tell us where we are right now in terms of really getting ready for the events?
But first, I would like to tell you, Erika, and the public that the President, through the Executive Secretary and Senator Bongo, is so concerned of this hosting, and we have there are people from Malacanang monitoring the whole activities, and we have a weekly meeting in Malacanang to assure that the preparation is all right. Now, there are important things that I have to share with you. That the venues, there are more or less there are 50 venues to be played on 56 sports, and out of that 50, there are 6 facilities of government, which was not originally part of the whole Southeast Asian game, because when we came in, the Duterte administration, it was part of the master plan to put up programs to improve the policy of the elite athletes and also to really rehabilitate the sports facilities, because when the president assumed office, I was talking to him and I brought Hidilyn Diaz in Davao. He told me that, Butch, you take good care of the athletes, make use that the sports program can reach to the periphery, to the indigenous people, pakainin mo mga bata, damitan mo sila, tulungan mo sila, and improve the facilities. So we did that one. But the 6 sports facilities of PSE, we volunteered that because there was a need of facilities by the organizing committee. There is an order of the president that we have to account every single centavo of people's money. So ganun katindi from PISGO to PSE to DBM. Matindi po. And as a matter of fact, Erika, we have to observe procurement laws.
Yes.
So the delay of the procurement of equipment is because of that. But I would like to say that there are more or less 30% available equipment for competition, and the other 70% are on delivery before the opening of the games.
So it is safe to say, sir, that we are on our way to really perfectly getting ready everything for the coming SEA Games. But on a lighter note, sir, you know, a lot of our audiences really look forward to big celebration, big events like this happening in our country. And as a sportscaster, as someone who covers games, I'm always very excited about the opening of ceremonies like this. Where we are at that, are we competing with how other countries have done it before?
I was part of the first meeting of the FISGOC, the organizing committee, and I have seen the plans and I've heard the discussion, and it is big. The theme of the Southeast Asian Games is win as one. And the preparation is really huge. That's why we are very careful on approving the budget because it is really grand. And it will be a surprise that for all the Southeast Asian hosting, this will be the biggest and one of the most memorable Southeast Asian game. Stars like Lea Salonga, singers of the country who are singing abroad are part of it. And Paul Diabs, I think, is part of it. And it will be live satellite also in Clark, which the closing will be held in New Clark Green City, the new facilities of the Philippine Sports.
So, sir, you're really making all the audiences very excited. You've used the word grand, big, and great. Big stars coming into this event. But just to slow things down on that note, sir, going back to the basics of the competition, how are the athletes? How competitive are our athletes in each of their events to really win a lot of medals for the country?
Well, the preparation is not easy. It's hard, it's difficult, but it's exciting for the country. And rare people who has the opportunity to be part of this undertaking. And I took up the challenge. As chef de mission, I'm in charge of the Team Philippines. When I was appointed, my first action was to invite the 60 sports associations in a meeting at PICC. We did a lot of consultation, assessment as to the needs of the athletes, of the team, the training areas, the equipment, the supports, and the probabilities of how much or how many medals they can contribute. So all of these are being discussed. And you know, Erika, I'm the only chef de mission who have 5 deputy chef de mission. My 4 commissioners are deputized and 2 NSA. So they're all going around supervising the training, bringing fruits, bread to the athletes. Their presence could inspire them. But I am confident that the athletes will perform because the National Sports Association, who are in charge of the training of the athletes, the training, are not new. They have been here right after the Commonwealth government, 1935. And our athletes, more than 70% are on training abroad, no? Under the finance of the government. So I am very confident that it will be a successful participation of Team Philippines.
We are very excited, and you have our support and the rest of the delegation of the Philippines. We will be back.
I'm Rachel Leon from the Philippine National Bowling Team. I started when I was 10 years old with my dad and my sister. Yung parents ko kasi nagbo-bowling, so one time parang nagpunta lang kami sa isang bowling center to try to play the sport. Tapos after that, na-enjoy naman namin, so tinuloy-tuloy na namin after. That time, so we started playing sa mga youth tournaments. Tapos kapag nananalo ka kasi, iba yung fulfillment. So parang as a kid, parang kung naglalaro ka tapos nananalo ka, iba yung joy na nararamdaman. So parang ikaw, gusto mo ituloy-tuloy. 2008, when one of the head coaches parang asked some of us to join the eliminations. At that time, I was 18 years old. So from then on, yun, nakapasok na ako sa team, tas tinuloy-tuloy ko na after that.
We stand today, opponents. We strive to bring home pride, and yet our is a force to change the world. Our nations share a common dream. Our roots are old and new. Our stories, joyful echoings of bonds forged strong and true. Together we
Welcome back to INFocus, the 30th Asian SEA Games update. Still with Mr. Butch Ramirez, the chairman of PSE, and our chef de mission. Sir, we came from talking about the athletes and their readiness, but let me just focus on certain specifics. Of course, you have the names, Yumir Marshall, you have Heidelin Diaz, who really have brought glory to the country, and then there's the name of Carlos Yulo, Nessie Petesio, and EJ Obiena. Are we looking at other names that you yourselves are very excited about in this coming SEA Games?
At the moment, we have 1,115 athletes on the list as our official delegation, maybe more. The Philippines are not new to this Southeast Asian game. Aside from these inspiring athletes we had a week ago, there are a lot of great athletes in martial arts, taekwondo, boxing, wushu, pinsak silat, even on the new sports that we have in the Philippine Sports Commission. And there is also Arnis of Senator Subiri, can get 28 medals, hoping that the swimming and track and field can contribute many medals. I think the Philippines, based on 2005 Southeast Asian Games, we are capable of becoming number one. But it should be the National Sports Association who should predict, who should tell us our numbers. But based on our consultation, the Philippines is capable.
I'm pretty sure we are capable. And are there any additional measures that the PSE is doing, the government is doing, to be able to really make sure that we will be excelling not just on solo events, but other bigger events that we used to really fall short on before?
Well, boxing is one, taekwondo, bowling, billiards. Normally, we only spend 300 or more million a year for our athletes, but today, we spent already 1 billion pesos for the foreign exposure of athletes, because after the Southeast Asian Games, we will be going to the Olympics. So this is how much support government is giving to the Philippine team. And never in the history that the athletes is going to a qualifying competition with a team of 5 people, sports medicine, sports psychologists, sports physiologists and masseur and other people. So we are now adopting a template of really focusing, supporting our top priority athletes. And a lot of things are happening in the Philippine Sports Commission. I'm sure that there will be performances that we never expect, because you see, when the Filipino athletes are playing in their host country, they know, they are aware that the prayers, the cheering, and the joys of Filipinos are there behind them. The flag is with them. So it's the whole 7,000, more than 7,000 islands cheering for these athletes, Erika. And with this, it's spread in Subic, Clark, Manila, and other areas. So the whole country is involved. As a matter of fact, it's good to note that the torch coming from Malaysia will be landing in Davao City. And from Davao City, the torch will go to Cebu. And from Cebu, it will go to Manila, then to Clark. So the purpose of this is to make the whole country aware of the Southeast Asian Games. So the whole country will be in festive mode, in celebration. For me, it's not only about becoming the champion. It's more of the Filipino people united as one.
It is really good to hear, sir, that, with your information, the government is really doing their best effort in putting our athletes in the best possible position to win. But of course, other countries competing for the SEA Games would say the same. And you have the likes of Indonesia, Malaysia, and Thailand really being successful, more successful in other instances as well against us. What do you think these countries have that really put them in a prime position to take home more that we really have to be ready for?
Two things, very important. One, the quality of leaders. Number two, equally important, is the money. You see, the gold in other countries is computed into 30 million, 20 million pesos per gold of an athlete playing based on the historical analysis. We don't have that. As a matter of fact, the sports facilities of the Philippine Sports Commission, Rizal Memorial Sports Complex and PhilSports will just be finished by November 30. So, but the other countries like Singapore, Indonesia, Malaysia have invested in these facilities, and they have their own sports high school. They have their own university in sports. Although we are on that track now, we are now on that track. That's why we are collaborating with DepEd and CHED for us to really get medals, not only for the Southeast Asian Game, Erika, but chasing gold in Olympics. First, we have the talent. We must have the excellent coach. We must have 3 or 4 cycles of Olympics, meaning a cycle of Olympics is 3 years, maybe 12, maybe 16. And of course, the support of government and support of private sector. It's really a combination of one. And I think there are signs that a Filipinos is capable.
And with what you have been sharing with us, Mr. Ramirez, I think we're getting there. It might take time, but we are getting there. But focusing on what's happening soon, what do you think are these events that we will be having that will create the most excitement, not just for the locals, but also for the other audiences flying in?
Well, of course, the individual sports, weightlifting, gymnasts, of course, other individual sports. But I think it's so exciting to watch our basketball team. Basketball, the Philippines is famous for basketball in Asia. And of course, the volleyball. Volleyball have changed the mode of the Filipino audience. So these are the things. Aside from that, there is that softball, baseball, dragon boat, and many others. It's so exciting that for the first time we have 58 sports to be played in the country. Normally we have only 40. So, and because of this, the preparation is so important that the 3 important ingredients of the organizing committee, the Philippine Olympic Committee, the PSE, and FISGOC must work together. But working together, perfect it is a challenge, and we are there. Ang sinasabi na lang namin that for the country and to get united, because if we cannot unite ourselves, it's so difficult to achieve our goals.
We're hearing you, sir. I feel like you are really very invested on the responsibility and the experience. And it feels like you are an athlete yourself with everything that you have to go through every single day with the preparation. So, focusing on you, sir, as chef de mission, how is the experience like?
Oh, yes. This is my 3rd time to be chef de mission of the Philippine team. One was the 2005 Southeast Asian Game. One was the Asian Games in Qatar. But this is more sensitive because the country is passing a journey of many things, and I think unity is an important ingredient for the country, much more to sports. So sports will give an important factor for this country, and becoming successful hosting is not only based on championship. Successful hosting mean well secured, the accommodation is excellent, the running of the tournament is excellent, and transportation and other requirements of the Southeast Asian Game hosting. With this, these are the things that we wanted to achieve, and it can be said that maybe the championship can be a bonus, but our athletes will deliver as I look at it, because we have people monitoring all over the world that they are doing fine. As a matter of fact, it shows that there are 5 people who are now 2 or 5 or maybe 10 qualified for Olympics after the qualifying. So these are good signs, Erika.
Well, thank you so much, sir. On that note, any message for the rest of the country as we welcome the upcoming SEA Games in less than 2 months?
To all the Filipino peoples from Batanes to Tawi-Tawi, cheer for the Filipino athletes, win or loss. This is about our people hosting the people that will be playing with us, the 10 countries, our brothers in the Southeast Asian Games. So whatever happens to the 1, 2, 3, 4, of the ranking, it is the Southeast Asian game that is the winner. So to all Filipinos, pray for us, cheer for us. I think the athletes will deliver.
Thank you so much, Mr. Butch Ramirez. And on that note, we will be back and we'll take a look on how the hosting for the rest of the 30th SEA Games is going when we come back here in INFocus.
I'm Amparo Acuña from Quezon City, member of the Philippine National Shooting Association. I've been shooting since I was 5 years old, but I've got into competitive shooting when I was 13, 14 years old. And then, since I was recruited to the Olympic style of shooting, I've endlessly trained since then, and I've competed non-stop since I started. Shooting is a calm sport. You need to find your inner peace, you need to find your balance, and you need to be at peace in general while you're shooting. And that's where you can get the best results you can. Please support the Philippine National Shooting Team by watching us live in the Philippine National Shooting Association range for the 30th Southeast Asian Games on the first week of December. We win as one.
We stand today, opponents. We strive to bring home pride, and yet our power, when combined, is a force to change the world. Our nations share a common dream. Our roots are old and new. Our stories, joyful echoings of bonds, forged strong and true. Together we're a universe. We are a future world. Yes, we compete, but the greatest feat is when we win as one. We win as one, unconquered. We win as one, unbowed. We share a single promise. We win as one. Yes, we compete, but the greatest feat is when we win. We win as one. We win as Together we're a universe. We are a future world. Yes, we compete, but the greatest feat is when we win as one. We win as one, unconquered. We win as one.
Welcome back to INFocus. To gain a deeper appreciation of the hard work while preparing for the Philippines' fourth time hosting the Southeast Asian Games,
Here's a summary of the events that ushered in its 30th edition into the Philippine shores. November 2018 marked the one-year countdown to the fourth staging of the Southeast Asian Games in the Philippines. It was a celebration filled with hope and excitement as the officials and everyone else who joined the festivities felt optimistic about the opportunity. Meanwhile, the Filipino athletes in attendance relished the thought of being able to perform in front of the home crowd. Plans to build world-class sports facilities were also unveiled, as well as the new logo and PAMI, the official mascot of the biennial meet. All in all, it was an affair that supplied positive energy as the organizers braced themselves for a massive undertaking.
Challenges are expected to arise in every journey, but it all boils down to how you'll face them. For the Philippine SEA Games Organizing Committee, it went straight through the obstacles. During a press conference, the FISGOC adamantly squashed rumors that the Philippines is considering to withdraw SEA Games hosting duties. Instead, they pointed out that the 30th edition of the Games, to be held here in the country, will be the best one yet. In the end, the group assured that job opportunities, positive change, and an inspiring display of the Filipino spirit will be at the forefront once the Philippines finally completes its preparations.
Go Pilipinas Go together with the Philippine national team, athletes, and sports officials for the 30th SEA Games and the 10th ASEAN Para Games gathered at the Rizal Memorial Baseball Stadium for a pep rally dedicated to the country's bid in winning the overall crown right on our home soil. Both the national athletes and the Philippine representatives for the Para Games felt a huge boost from the energy generated by the event and the Philippine SEA Games Organizing Committee, who never ceased to express their full support.
The anticipation for the 2019 Southeast Asian Games went near the highest level as the 100-day countdown to the official start of the biennial meet took place, gathering at the PICC Banquet Hall were the country's top sports officials to celebrate the milestone event. Aside from the countdown, the event also marked the unveiling of the official 30th SEA Games torch design. Filipino artist Daniel de la Cruz crafted the masterpiece, which he says was inspired by the Philippine national flower, the sampaguita. For him, it was a symbol of the Filipinos' humility, strength, and beauty. The torch will be seen once again during the opening ceremony of the Games.
With the preparation for the 2019 Southeast Asian Games all coming together, the official song and music video entitled "We Win as One" was launched. Tony Award winner Lea Salonga and national artist for music and Palanca Award-winning writer and director Floyd Quintos came together for this project. Ryan Cayabyab, who was also involved in completing the soundtrack the last time the Philippines hosted the SEA Games, was as thrilled as ever to be able to be part of creating the theme for the biennial meet. Meanwhile, when the FISGOC were in the initial stages of planning, no other artist than Lea Salonga was in mind when picking the singer for the inspiring anthem. Just as the composer, the singer was excited to be able to perform for a huge sporting event such as the SEA Games.
We were there in Kuala Lumpur for the flame turnover ceremony, which formally marked the transfer of hosting duties from Malaysia to the Philippines. The two countries' delegations coming together to signify the transition, most of all symbolizes their wish for the next staging of the 30th Southeast Asian Games to be a smashing success. The event itself was memorable in more ways than one, as lighting up the lantern required a few tries before the Philippines officially received the flame. In the end, the affair served its purpose, and the new hosts of the Southeast Asian Games felt recharged as they looked forward to complete the task.
The importance of the technical delegates were also given emphasis as the FISGOC held the second technical delegates meeting at the Manila Hotel. The technical delegates are the officials responsible for the official results of the SEA Games and the rest of the meet's technical aspect. A new appreciation for the technical officials is a welcome addition as part of the country's attempt to be fully ready for the 2019 Southeast Asian Games.
Subic Bay was the venue for the first modern pentathlon test event to be ever held in the Philippines. The FISGOC, SBMA, and Philippine Modern Pentathlon President Richard Gomez collaborated to pull off the historic occasion. Not only did the event raise awareness of the Filipinos' promising potential in modern pentathlon, but it also heightened anticipation for the upcoming Southeast Asian Games.
With a little more than a month away from the start of the Games, Philippine Southeast Asian Games Organizing Committee and House Speaker Alan Cayetano, together with Senate Committee on Sports Chair Senator Bongo, inspected the new Clark City complex and declared that the 13 billion peso hub for the 2019 SEA Games is on pace to be ready come November 30. With the new Clark City Athletic Stadium and Aquatic Center being graded Class 1A athletics facility by the International Association of Athletics Federation, the two Philippine officials could not be more optimistic of what the country is about to accomplish.
As the excitement for the 2019 SEA Games reaches fever pitch, the Philippines Southeast Asian Games Organizing Committee held a team draw that determined the groupings and matchups for football, volleyball, badminton, underwater hockey, and water polo competitions in the 30th Southeast Asian Games. With the pairings in some of the most highly awaited sporting events already in place, the Philippines are just a few steps away from making the dream come to life. After hearing and seeing all of that, it's easy to realize that putting together an event as big as the SEA Games is a tall order.
It's something that should give us a deeper appreciation of the men and women working hard to deliver a great show. INFocus will be right back.
We stand today, opponents. We strive to bring home pride, and yet our power, when combined, is a force to change the world. Our nations share a common dream. Our roots are old and new. Our stories, joyful echoings of bonds, forged strong and true. Together we're a universe. We are a future world. Yes, we compete, but the greatest feat is when we win as one. We win as one, unconquered. We win as one.
Welcome back to INFocus with me, Erika and Paolo. The 30th edition of the SEA Games will be the fourth time that the Philippines will be hosting the biennial meet.
Now, for more on the Philippines' history as SEA Games host, here's Bea Escudero.
This is the fourth time that the Philippines will host the SEA Games. The first one was in 1981, the 11th Southeast Asian Games. It was opened by President Ferdinand Marcos at the Rizal Memorial Stadium in Manila. We were third in the medal tally, with Indonesia being first and Thailand second. 10 years later, the Philippines once again hosted the Games in 1991. This was called the 16th Southeast Asian Games. Arnis was added to the Games as a demonstration sport, which gave the country 14 medals, that's 10 golds, 3 silvers, and 1 bronze. This time, the Philippines placed second place. The third year was in 2005, the 23rd Southeast Asian Games. The Philippines ranked first and emerged as overall champions in the Games, completing 112 golds, 85 silvers, and 93 bronze medals. This year is the 30th edition of the Southeast Asian Games. This year will be the first edition that esports and obstacle course will be included in the Games. And also, this edition is leading the highest number of sports in history at 56. Support our Pinoy athletes in the 2019 Southeast Asian Games, nilalaban para sa bayan.
Thank you very much, Bea. Now, what better way to feel the spirit of the biggest sporting event in the Southeast Asian region than listening to a song that encapsulates what these massive international meets are all about, which is representing your country to the best of your ability and at the same time forming a bond with the other nations.
Now, hearing this theme song for the 30th SEA Games will do just that. It is entitled We Win As One. It was sung by the great Lea Salonga and written by national artist Ryan Cayabyab. Compared to River Maya's Posible, which was the theme song for the 2005 Southeast Asian Games, We Win As One is more of a ballad, more dramatic, but still inspires you to go all out and do your best for the country.
I can't agree with you more, Paolo. Now, it's time to be inspired by it. Ladies and gentlemen, the official song of the 30th SEA Games, We Win as One.
We stand today, opponents. We strive to bring home pride, and yet our power, when combined, is a force to change the world. Our nations share a common dream. Our roots are old and new. Our stories, joyful echoings of bonds, forged strong and true. Together we're a universe. We are a future world. Yes, we compete, but the greatest feat is when we win as one. We win as one, unconquered. We win as one, unbowed. We share a single promise. We win as one. Yes, we compete, but the greatest feat is when we win. We win. We win as one. We win as Together we're a universe. We are a future world. Yes, we compete, but the greatest feat is when we win as one. We win as one, unconquered. We win as one, unbound. We share a single promise. We win as one. Yes, we compete, but the greatest feat is when we win. That's when we win. Yes, when we win, we win as
Before we go, we would like to remind you that we are a little more than a month away from the opening ceremony of the 2019 Southeast Asian Games. Until then, we'll be here weekly to bring you the latest news as the big day approaches.
And that's it for us. On behalf of my partner, Paolo Del Rosario, I'm Erika Padilla-Cariaso. This has been INFocus, the 30th Southeast Asian Games Update.